You know, how many of you remember the IBM mainframes, the MVS computers? Yes, we got quite a few of those here. And then we went on to mini computers. Remember the great Ken Olsen and DEC? You know, and then we moved into proprietary computers like HP and Sun. And then we were really led into this great new client-server revolution by Michael Dell and others who showed us the moving away from that integrated stack and using this commodity hardware in this commodity software. And from there, we were able to move on, and we can see the mobility advancements. And now we're moving into an incredible new area with this social transformation. The social transformation is spectacular. I've never seen anything as dynamic, that's grown as fast, that's more pervasive, but really, it's because it's in all parts of society. Let me give you an example. When we go out and we see on TV what's going on in Tunisia, when we go see what's happening in Egypt, we see what's happening today at Occupy Wall Street, right? You've all seen these signs, right, in the magazines. You've all seen these new signs in the web. We never saw signs that said, "Thank you, IBM." We never saw it, right? We never saw "Thank you, Microsoft." There definitely was not a sign that said "Thank you, Microsoft." You know, this is a social transformation. It's a social revolution that's going on. And look at this. If you get the most current issue of Forbes magazine, this is the cover. Social power. That's what's going on. We have yesterday, where I have my office on Market Street in San Francisco was shut down because Occupy Wall Street is now Occupy San Francisco. They shut down Wells Fargo. And how are they organizing? It's not through soft power, it's not through hard power, it's through social power. And are we taking advantage of that social power? Are we paying attention to it? Because we're going to start to see changes in our own companies if we don't. That's why I admire Dell. They've been a leader in this area. But look at the troubles that Reed has had in the past few weeks at Netflix. Have you all been paying attention to that? You saw the acceleration in his decline of his brand and his equity when he actually put that blog out. Did you all see the blog? 27,000 negative comments on his blog. That is not good if you're the CEO. You with me on that? You know? So are you in touch with those issues? Are you paying attention? That's why that social media command center is so amazing. You look at that social media command center, you know, I mean, they're in touch with what's going on all the time. Paying attention. Are you looking at what's going on? Let me ask you a question. How many people here, look at this, 1 billion people. 1 billion people on social networks. Soon 1 billion just on Facebook. 100 billion transactions soon on Facebook. How many people here have an account on either Twitter or Facebook? Raise your hand. Oh, is that all? Is that all? You know, look at the amount of time today that we're spending on Facebook. 22% of internet time is social. It's eating the web. Social networks are eating the web. Your Facebook page is even becoming more important than your web page. And it's not just about social. It's a bigger, more exciting phenomenon than that. It's also about mobile. How many of you today relate to this slide? That you're spending more time on your mobile device browsing the web than on your PC? Raise your hand if you relate to that. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's because of this. It's a fundamental reorganization of our industry. You know, smartphones and tablets taking off. How many of you brought a smartphone with you today? Of course, everybody. How many of you have an iPhone with you today? How many of you have an Android device with you today? How many have a BlackBerry? How many people have more than one smartphone with them today? We have a special session for you actually coming up. The change and shift that's going on in our industry and why we need to be paying attention. And it's not just about social, it's not just about mobile, it's also about the fundamental change in the cloud. Look at this. Look at the applications that are now available on Facebook and on the Apple App Store and on the Android App Store, and the growth in this great new developer ecosystem that's emerging. How many people here have loaded an app from the Apple App Store, for example? Raise your hand. How many people here have loaded an app just from an app store overall? Raise your hand. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a new type of platform. It's the next generation. And it's not just about the consumer. Yes, it's about the consumer, but it's not just about the consumer, it's also about business. And look at this. The CIOs are saying, yeah, we're looking at these tablets, we want to bring this next generation technology in. A year ago, they said no. Now they're saying yes. But this revolution, this social revolution, this revolution that's social and mobile and that's about the cloud, it's created a divide for many companies. You just saw that shift happen at Hewlett-Packard. You saw a company that got divided from its customers. It didn't know. You know, should we stay in PCs? Should we go? Should we stay or should we go? They don't know. They don't. It's amazing. They are in that ravine. It's amazing. They are in a ravine. The customers and the employees are social. But is your company social? Is this conference social? Are you paying attention to social media? Last week we had an amazing experience at Oracle Open World. We're getting ready for our keynote. It was canceled. At 3:30 the day before, I was going at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. At 3:30 we got an email. We were all in my house, in my living room, getting ready to do some practicing, and I got on Twitter. I go, hey, my keynote is canceled. 50% at one point of all the social media traffic around the conference was about that tweet. Okay, more than 10% of all of the media, all media about their conference was about the cancellation. We had to reschedule the keynote and do it at a restaurant. We called it a restaurant keynote. Never did a restaurant keynote before. It's very exciting. But how does your enterprise bridge that social divide? I was excited because we were using the social media technologies to make a quick change. I see this all the time. I see this with our customers. They want to know, how do I take advantage of that capability myself? There's a lot of answers right here at Dell. You've seen a lot of those answers at this conference. I think that there's 3 key steps. I was just talking to Karen. The 3 key steps to becoming a social enterprise. Number 1 is, what about your database? What about your customer data? Are you paying attention to your customers? Do you know their social handles? Are you capturing their tweets? You know, we've seen some really interesting examples with customers like Bank of America or like KLM, where you'll see them on Twitter. Those are actually now, their call centers and contact centers are deeply integrated in the social networks. They're capturing the information on the social networks to become part of your customer record. The step 1 is looking at the customer database itself. You know, I had this really interesting and exciting experience where I showed up at a conference that I was doing, and I was tweeting on a plan. Hey, I'm going to this conference in Boston. It's very exciting. I can't wait to get there. You know, we're doing this big thing. Oh, I love this restaurant at this hotel. It's amazing. I can't wait to get to this restaurant. And I want to go to this show in Boston. It's incredible. Anyway, I get off the plane. I get to the hotel. I walk into the hotel. They go, Mr. Benioff, we are so glad you are here. Fantastic to have you. We know this is your favorite hotel. We put your room just like you wanted together. That restaurant you want, we got your table. The best table, we got it for you. And the tickets you were talking about for the theater done, it's on your nightstand, ready for you. No, that did not happen. You know that did not happen. You know what happened. It's what happened to you last night when you got to Austin, Texas. Here's your keys. Do you know how much hotel space I buy all over the world? Do you know how much I'm doing all over the world with business? They have no idea who I am when I'm walking in that hotel. I won't tell you what hotel it was. It's embarrassing for them. It's embarrassing for me that I can't get to them to say, hey, you need to transform. You need to change. You need to advance. You need to go forward. Now is your time. This is an incredible opportunity. These opportunities come along so rarely. Now you can take advantage of that opportunity. So step 2 is, how do you bring all your employees on board? You've heard about Chatter. How do you get your employees connected to you? Is email the answer? I don't think so. How do you connect your salespeople, your service people, your custom applications? You need to build this next generation of apps, this employee social network. And then the 3rd step, which is amazing, is a customer social network and a product social network. And how do you bring your customers into the network? The idea storm, that was visionary. That was the idea of how do we build a customer social network? How do we bring our customers in? In the new version of Chatter, you can create a group and create IDs to bring your customer right into the groups inside Chatter. How do you do that? How do you do that? And then the next key piece is products. We were just talking about Karen. You know, we're building this new car with Toyota. It's called the Toyota Friend because I have a Chevy Volt, okay, which is an amazing car. It's probably the most advanced car right now that's available in the world today. It's allowing you to put a drop of gas in this car. Phenomenal car. But you need to know more about this next generation of car. You need to have a relationship with your car in a way that you didn't before because it's not always available ready to go. You know, I want to collaborate with my car. I want my car to be my friend on my social network. Hey, I'm charged up, let's go. Oh, the tire is low, service station around the corner. Hey, your wife is actually in the car 2 blocks away. Do you want to go over there? Maybe not. Customer social networks, product social networks, and built on the cloud, on fast, on easy, on open, on everyone. Let me ask you a question. How many people here work in companies that have more than 1,000 employees? Raise your hands if you have more participate. Not just small and big, everybody. Fast to get going and easy. It's the cloud. That's the power. You know, I was at that show last week at Oracle, and they said their vision of the future of the cloud is a box and it's proprietary. It has a big X on it. And the proprietary mainframes are the future. But haven't we seen that movie already? Are proprietary mainframes the future? It didn't really work out very well for some. That was also their message. Or is it the message that we have at this conference of open and affordable and standards-based? And that's really the 3 steps to create your social enterprise. You know, I've been traveling all over this world, and there's a great CEO. Michael and I were just in London together, and we visited this customer, and I wanted you to hear from a great CEO and how she thinks about this problem. And then I want to show you a demonstration of this technology. This is the CEO of Burberry, Angela Ahrens. Let's hear from her for a second to show this great new tablet. And it's just the beginning. We're just at the beginning of this. But how do we take our companies and transform them and shift them and knit them into these social enterprises? One of the great examples is Dell. You've seen so many great stories today. I don't know how many have been to the trade show to see Dell's social media command center. And that's built on Radiant 6, spectacular. Or how Dell has built so many great customer communities, or their idea store. Or you look at Dell's tremendous presence on Twitter or Facebook, and even Michael Dell's personal presence on Facebook and Twitter is a great example of leading by example. And the custom applications that they're building to do this inside their company and with their customers. And on and on and on through their direct sales organization. The next time you're with a Dell sales executive, have them show you how they run their business. They walk their talk here. They eat their own dog food, as we say in our industry. You know, and they have more than 100,000 users on Chatter. I want to introduce you to a great Dell executive. You know, please welcome Karen Quintos, the Chief Marketing Officer of Dell. Karen, you know, you have a huge vision. You've transformed Dell. You obviously have a tremendous relationship with Michael over so many years to be able to envision what a social enterprise can be for Dell. Where are we going? How do you see this moving forward?
Well, I think a lot of what you talked about here on integrating it into every aspect of how we interact with customers is absolutely critical. So beyond the traditional, you need to get more followers and you need to get more users. Where we think this is going is the same vision that you're talking about, integrated into our products. How do you take it beyond just the typical way we're using it today? I think the next big, huge plateau that we're going to be seeing is how do you really integrate content and meaningful content that when your customer is on a particular site or a particular community, we're pushing the right content to them. We have a great tool and community right now with TechCenter. 10,000 users, there's probably a number of them here in this room, where they are highly technical IT users that come together as a community. And we're interacting with them and pushing the right content that they want around deduplication, virtualization. And so being able to utilize content and doing it in an integrated way through our products, through our solutions, through the cloud like you talked about is absolutely right vision. Well, as you know, we made a significant investment in our listening command centers, and we've launched those in multiple markets around the world. We are actually working closely with other customers in a pilot way to help enable them to put listening command centers like that in place. We will continue to do that in markets where that makes sense, so that will be a key investment area for us. We are also doing a lot with our partners, and we're doing a lot with customers that we interact with on a daily basis. We had a great breakout session today with about 30 CIOs, and we talked to them about what they want to do in the area of social media. So working closely with our customers, continuing to expand the footprint that we have, and then working with partners like yourselves. Your move, frankly, in acquiring Radian 6, in our opinion, was brilliant. Because the other big crown jewel in an area of investment that we spend a lot of time on is cracking this code between how to link social media, your customer database, your CRM, turning it into sales leads, and really being able to prove to the organization the true integrated ROI that you get through the use of all these social tools. Right. Those are where we have some real opportunities, right? So just as we've been working with you on Chatter, on Salesforce.com, on the work that we've been doing with listening command centers, I think that is absolutely one of the next areas of opportunity, because our customers want to see this integrated, and they want to be part of this, and our opportunities together, I think, are really strong.
Very exciting. Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, we really appreciate the opportunity here today. Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause. You know, doing business is extremely interesting and hard, but it's much, much easier when you have a friend who is a mentor and who's able to give you, you know, the guidance, the vision, the insights. And it's happened to me in running my company, and it's also happened to me in philanthropy. You know, when I look at my own work with our Children's Hospital in San Francisco, it was certainly inspired by Michael Dell and Dell Children's Hospital. When we look at our foundation, it was inspired by his. He is a believer in not just leading the technology industry, but also being a great philanthropist. And I just want to thank him for all of his tremendous guidance and support. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to turn it back over to Steve Felice. Steve, thanks for giving us the great opportunity.
Okay, what a great way to end the day. I hope you had a terrific day with us. We have a